What's up guys, Cloudie here, and today we have received another developer talk or developer update from Vespa, so let's quickly go through the highlights of this pretty long post and see what all they have in store for us and what they wish to communicate to the community. Let's see, little radar system. Now they don't really say much more than what we have seen in the sneak peeks. Okay, so stats will be like normal on the different versions, and then the awakening phase for legendary pets will increase the stats as well. There are 3 separate ways to obtain the pets: summon, synthesis, or incubation. I suppose summon will be like the gacha system, synthesis where you use your materials that you can probably get from duplicates to like craft pets, and incubation is probably like just growing your pet over time. So guess these will be the 3 systems they have thought about letting you get the pets. You can interact with them in this little radar house, where you also have a jukebox that lets you play the 킹스레이드 OST. And they add that they feel like this is a very limited system of interaction with the pets for now, but they want to expand on it later. So not too much info, just kind of confirming that this new pet collection system is coming. Next, hero balance adjustments. Okay, now this one is the hot stuff. First and foremost, they kind of acknowledge that, well, they say that the feedback was that the balancing did not meet our expectations, and then so to fix that they plan to do adjustments to another set of characters, which doesn't really make sense. So if the balance adjustments weren't good enough for the last set of heroes, then we will just balance a few other ones. Like, no, the answer to that would be that we will review the changes that we have made and see if we can actually make good decisions there. But okay, so instead we are getting a bunch of other heroes that will be balanced during the first update of December. And they kind of say that, well, they intend to go about balancing in a buff-oriented way. And well, this sentence really had me scratching my head, because they are saying that they want to be really careful about balancing heroes, because if one hero gets buffed and then another one is not buffed, then the owners of that other hero will be disappointed to be left out. But then if you do a meaningless buff to the first hero so that the other hero's owners are not sad, then that way you just have now 2 different groups of people who are sad. Ones who received the meaningless buff and the others who didn't receive a buff at all. So I understand that they mean that they don't want to overbuff heroes, because then others will be sad to be left out. But at the same time, meaningless buffs are meaningless. Let's see about Crow's S3 change, like 1.7%, 1.8 something. He definitely needed that upgrade. Right. Next section is talking how they have received from many communities the suggestion that heroes like Panseron, Lorraine, and Fallen Frey should be nerfed. Now this is curious, because they don't acknowledge that they themselves feel that these heroes are overpowered. They just say that they have received this feedback from the communities themselves, but they do not want to nerf them. So there you go, guys. It's in like written now by Vespa that they will not be nerfing any of these characters. You can go ahead and build Pansy as you wish. Basically, they say that, yeah, it would be really saddening to play people who have built these heroes if they were suddenly nerfed. And yeah, that's right. That's true. But what are their thoughts on this whole issue then? Will the game be balanced around these characters being there? Does this mean that you cannot now clear content unless you have a Panseron level of DPS? Or does it mean that everyone who uses Panseron will just have a lot easier time, but you can still do it with like Aisha? Just giving an example. Yeah, and to be fair, balancing does include nerfs. It has to happen at some points, but it does matter the way and time it happens. And right, yeah, I mean, Pansy has been out for a year, Fallen Frey has been out for God knows how long, Lorraine has been changed quite a while ago. Nerfing them now is a sort of a dick move. Like, yeah, let's admit it, if you have invested, and this is a game where investing takes time or money, so if you invested in them and now they are nerfed, that's obviously bad. And that's where like proper testing comes into play and reaction to feedback right away. Because yeah, I mean, I don't suppose they couldn't have been able to tell this before releasing said heroes, but if they had actual proper testing, they had, say, test servers open to people and wouldn't play this cloak and dagger with the updates all the time, then maybe the community would have been able to tell them beforehand that releasing these characters in this state will not be good for the game itself, or they could have adjusted them within a week or two. Otherwise, they would run into the same thing as they did with Shell, where she was dominating for a year and then suddenly nerfed and everyone was unhappy. So, whatever. Now, they also add some soul weapon transfer ticket along with the other unique gear transfer tickets. But they say that this is not their solution. This is just a band-aid until they can keep fixing the issues. So, yeah, it seems we will be able to transfer away soul weapons now as well. But let's see how those balances go and whether we see real changes next time. Quality of life improvements. Now the next one is ether enhancement cost adjustments. That's really nice. As I found out after the new Talisha dungeon. And some other stuff that they are working on is, yeah, here is the ether cost and reducing the secret dungeon entries, so you no longer need to do 200 of them. That's great. I just did 200 entries and it took me all day yesterday on my old account. So yeah, that would be nice if they reduce that for the future. And they will reduce the difficulty of Dark Legion raids. That's fair enough. I need to go farming there anyways. I don't know how hard it is on new characters now because I didn't get to it with my alt yet. But yeah, I suppose making it easier makes sense now. It's not really the endgame content anyway. And speaking of endgame content, technology gear crafting, they are planning to add an update to the balance shop where you can craft technologic gear with lines that you select. So you will be able to select the skill line that you receive, but they will not be able to do this at the first update of December, but are planning to do it at the second one. So alright. Select skills when crafting technology gear. So, no more randomness. Alright. Which is... But then you wonder then, because you need like 4 lines per DPS character, and that's after that you just reroll the stats. So I kind of wonder how they are planning to gate this, because there needs to be some kind of time investment requirements. Otherwise you just get it on like day 1 and then you are done with the new content forever. So I assume there will be something that limits how many you can craft or how often you can do this, but there will be an option. So as usually, I will be hoarding until we get this one. I might as well just sit on my points and wait to see how this turns out. But yeah, I would say there definitely has to be some sort of gating to this, otherwise it would just be too easy to get them done. Let's see, content improvements. So guild content is, yeah, something that's kind of outdated now, especially with TM gears, like guild raids have kind of become more or less meaningless. And yeah, Valk is now pretty much of a joke. So as one, they are going to increase the health of Valkazar, and they are going to be adding a new artifact, which looks like this right now. Increases defense, damage dealt to enemies, and damage dealt to non-hero enemies. I mean, this could be good, it could be bad. It doesn't seem to have any kind of requirements like time or time limit or health or whatever, so could be a pretty good like all-around artifact. We'll see. They do know that this is from the test server or development server, so it can change until the release. But yeah, I guess it will be nice. And they will also increase the Valkazar artifact pieces that you get from Guild Conquest, so you should still keep doing your conquests. Also, they want to do more rewards, but they haven't really decided on those yet. So we might see more improvements to rewards from Guild Conquest and perhaps other guild content like raids, which should be nice, because yeah. And then client improvements. Now, to be fair, I think the last couple of weeks the client was mostly okay. At least for me, I can only really talk about my own perspective and the couple of people that I talk to regularly, and I've not heard about that many crashes, but you might have a specific case there where you do. I really can't comment on that. For my own part, this has been mostly okay. Now they mention here the gear preset related lag. Yeah, that's true. That's a lot of data set that it loads there, I guess, and also issues related to Eclipse battles. Now, probably this one is the more annoying because you definitely lose resources here if your Eclipse crashes. So that would be nice if they could fix that. Yeah, they ask for patience with this because they are working on this and trying not to break things when they are fixing things. And I'm not a software developer myself, and some of you might be, but you probably know that yeah, these kind of changes aren't really easy to push through because it's a lot easier to break things when you try to fix stuff. There are the jokes that when you have 7 little bugs in the code, you fix 1 little bug, and now you have 15 little bugs in the code. That's pretty much how it can work. So yeah, I understand they want to be careful, but of course from the other end we want to see results. We want to see the client working better, being less laggy, and so on and so on. Well, they are working on this, and we will see whether they can deliver on that part or not. Finally, they mentioned that they have mentioned a bunch of other updates in the November's developer talk, but some of these not being able to implemented, or they are delayed because they require additional fine tone. I think they mean fine tuning, actually, not toning, but whatever. So we will try to implement them as they are prepared. Now, my big question here is, what about the soulstone drop rate changes that you promised us, Vespo? I don't want to be sitting on my 20,000 plus fragments anymore. At least tell us whether it's coming, when it's coming, something. That one shouldn't be that hard to fine tune anyway. But alright, so they say that they have not forgotten about those, but they are still working on them and it takes time. And finally, there will be a green note, so the letter from the developer team from PD shown, I guess, on the 25th of December with rewards and the token of appreciation. And that's it, really, guys. I mean, hit and miss. Some stuff is nice. The balance adjustments feels like eh. Quality of life improvements, good stuff. The balance shop crafting part will be really nice. It means it will be easier to get those sets. Hopefully, new artifact, changes to WAG, that's good stuff, and client changes. So yeah, I mean, they did promise to communicate more often, and they seem to be somewhat listening to feedback. I'm not quite sure if they are always taking the right conclusions or the right decisions based on those feedback, but it's something. So that's it, really, guys. Let me know what you think, how you feel about these promises, and whether Vespa will be able to deliver on them or not. I'm looking forward to the changes, see how they turn out, and try to give them some benefit of the doubt, even though they have let us down a bunch of times in the past. But you know, it's what it is. Until next time, this has been Cloudie. See you there. Bye bye.